Welcome to the Black Doctors Talk podcast. I am Dr. Kimberly West, host for this episode and a member of the Black Doctoral Network. Today, I am joined by Dr. Amy Freeman. A native of Topeka, Kansas, Dr. Freeman knew that she wanted a career that would allow her to help others and advocate for disadvantaged groups. She decided to focus her career in the field of human resources with a specialization in diversity, equity, and inclusion. Dr. Freeman believes that if businesses would focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion, they would have increased productivity and overall success. In 2017, Dr. Freeman launched Thriive Beyond, a career coaching and HR consulting business. She has been married to her husband, Howard, for 22 years and has 4 children. In her free time, Dr. Freeman enjoys reading, spending time with her family, horseback riding, completing DIY projects, and baking. Welcome, Dr. Freeman. I am delighted to speak with you today.
Thank you, Dr. West. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So to begin our conversation, can you please tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit about your background? Where did your journey begin?
Sure. I was born and raised in Topeka, Kansas, and I am the youngest of 4 children. My dad worked at Frito-Lay, and my mom was a child care provider. I remember both of my parents working hard to provide for us, and they always encouraged me to do my best. As a child, I was going to take over the world, right? So I was going to become a doctor, a lawyer, and a teacher. Of course, when I became older, I realized I could possibly do all 3, but that was going to take a lot of school and time and effort. So I decided to focus on human resources. Within human resources, you have to learn about the different laws, rules, and regulations pertaining to the workforce. So that was enough for my goal of becoming a lawyer and being a true human resource leader. You have to constantly train and teach others so that they understand those laws, rules, and regulations. So that met my goal of teaching others so that they understand what they need to know as far as human resources and then about the organization. And then although when I was younger, I actually wanted to become a surgeon. So that would have been my, with a doctorate. So instead of becoming a surgeon, I actually obtained my doctorate in business administration with a concentration in the human resource field.
I love that. I think when we're all younger, we think we can do multiple things, right?
Yes.
Until we realize, what, I'm going to be in school for how long?
Right.
And so you talked a little bit about your interest in the field of human resources, but what's driven you or caused you to focus more on diversity, equity, and inclusion?
So I am definitely an advocate for diversity, equity, and inclusion because I feel that not enough minorities, especially minority women, are recognized for their hard work. I've witnessed it so many times that individuals from disadvantaged groups would do all the work for their organization and they wouldn't be recognized. So I believe that being in the human resource field, I can definitely advocate for them and teach others why having a diverse group at all levels of the organization is so important for the employees and the company.
Wow. So in the intro, I mentioned that you started Thriive Beyond. Can you talk a little bit about the services that you provide for businesses and individuals?
Sure. So I started Thrive Beyond because I've seen so many people struggle within their career and they needed advice and they didn't know who to turn to. So I continuously do my research and obtain certifications so that I can coach individuals, whether they want to progress within their career or they want to change career fields. And for small businesses, I wanted to help them with their human resources because a lot of small businesses, they're not able to afford a human resource department, but they need help with like managing their employees' information or being updated with the latest laws, rules, and regulations. So that's why that's where my business comes into play. So for individuals, we offer career coaching sessions, career development assessments, mock interviews, and job search strategies. For the career coaching, we also offer different plans that provide a discount to individuals. And for small businesses, we offer any services related to human resources because we can act as their human resource department.
Oh, wow. Does that include like resume or CV building? You do any work with that?
Yes, correct. So for individuals with the career coaching, yes, we also provide resume services, and we also have different plans for that as well.
Nice. Who has had a tremendous impact on you in your career field?
So there's not just one person that has had an impact on me because I see individuals every day in human resources or individuals advocating for diversity, equity, and inclusion. So I would say anyone that's in the human resource field, especially women and especially minority women, who continuously amaze me by ensuring that their organizations are doing what is right for their employees and they're doing what's right for the organization.
Yeah. Thinking about your career, you seem to be, have a lot of experience in human resources. I'm particularly interested in the diversity and equity and inclusion part. But can you tell us what is one thing you wish you had known earlier in your career?
So I wish I had known how hard it was basically to climb the ladder within an organization, and then also like the different aspects of human resources, because some people just see human resources as, okay, I'm going there because I'm in trouble, but that's not it, because there's different sections within human resources, whether it comes to employee benefits, employee relations, diversity, equity, and inclusion. There's just so many aspects. So I wish I would have known about that earlier on in my career, because I may have taken a different path. But I don't regret taking the path that I've taken because I've learned a lot throughout the years.
Oh, wow. Thinking about, and I like this question because, again, for those who have a lot of experience, you can share with others. What advice would you give someone wanting to pursue a career similar to yours?
So I would say, and then like my grandfather always taught me, he said, don't just obtain the skills, obtain the education as well. So that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go all the way for your doctorate. That was just a personal goal of mine. But I would say obtain the skills you need by working, even if it's maybe volunteering somewhere within that department. Just do that so that you can obtain those skills. Also get the education, whether it's a technical college, a community college, or a four-year college. Obtain those skills, obtain that education so that at the end, no one can tell you no. And if they do say no, they better have a good explanation as to why they said no to you.
Yeah. I think that's a good segue to just into this question. Why did you decide to pursue your doctorate degree?
So it's always been a personal goal of mine to obtain the highest level of education, but also I want women, and especially minority women, to see that you can come from nothing and go to something. So I was a teenage mother. And so I had to work hard to get to where I am today. I was able to obtain my bachelor's degree by working full-time and being a single mother. By then, I had met my husband and we got married. And then after that, I obtained my master's degree. And then I was able to get my doctorate, which I am very thankful for, since that was a goal of mine since I was a little girl, even though it was a surgeon when I was a little girl, but I'm okay with having a doctorate in business administration.
Yeah. I love that because I too wanted to be an MD, right? And so I often joke with my own mother, well, it's still a doctorate. It may not be the doctorate you
It is.
thought that I was going to.
Exactly. So yes, I just want other women, especially teenage moms, to see that you are able to, obtain your degree, whatever degree you're wanting to, or whatever goal you have set, you're able to do that. You just have to work hard and overcome those obstacles and those challenges in your life.
Yeah, keep moving forward. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, keep moving forward. How do you stay abreast of current trends in your field?
So I am a part of different organizations. So I am a part of SHRM. I'm also a part of, and that's the Society of Human Resource Management. I'm also a part of the National Career Development Association. And that's what I have my certification for career coaching. I have my Certified Masters of Career Services. And I just feel like if you get involved with different organizations, and then they usually send you information through email, as well as get involved with maybe your organization, and see what's the latest and up-to-date information, and then try to go obtain that information. Of course, within the human resource field, you have to do your research and look at the federal laws set forth for your state or any local laws. So you just have to constantly do your research in order to be up to date.
Wow. What would you consider your biggest failure, and what did you learn from it?
So my biggest failure was before I actually got into the human resource field. I was working for a financial institution, and we process retirement information. So I was talking to one of our customers, and he wanted me to withdraw a certain percentage of his retirement, which consisted of probably maybe $14,000, because he was trying to do something for his granddaughter. Anyways, come to find out the next day, I had withdrawn all of his money. So it consisted of $1.4 million. So that was one of my biggest mistakes that I had ever made. But he was just so nice about it. Of course, I had to retroactively do everything. So that was a process. But, I learned from that, because he didn't take it out on me. He was just the sweetest man. And he was just like, it's okay, everyone makes mistakes. And I learned from that, because everyone does make mistakes. You can't think that everyone's going to do something right all the time. So rather than yelling at someone or reprimanding someone for doing something, what other avenues can you take in order to reassure that person, and that was like one of my first mistakes at that company. But if it's a first mistake, it's like, hey, let me coach you through this. What can we do better for next time? You have to be able to do that as a leader. So that was definitely one of my biggest mistakes, but I'm glad I learned from it.
Oh, wow. I'm like, oh, yeah, he was very nice.
Yeah, he was.
Very nice, because I'm thinking 1.4 million, 14,000.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know if I might have had one of those. Let me speak to your manager moment.
Right. One of those moments.
Go higher up the chain. So,
right.
So thinking you said, and I think that's great though. Yeah, because I think oftentimes the mistakes I've made in my life, and I go, okay, nope, never to do that again.
Right.
It helps you kind of refocus, and then as you said, you can teach others. So on the opposite end of the spectrum, what is your biggest accomplishment to date?
So within my personal life, my biggest accomplishment is they're my children. Because you see them from a little baby and they're growing up, and my oldest daughter, she's 20, and what she said was, Mom, I remember when you did this or you said this, and it's just like, wow, you were listening, so it's just like, wow, okay, so I was able to teach. I'm still teaching my children something, and I just want them to be happy. I don't sit there and tell my children they have to go to college. I said, I want your life to be happy. So that doesn't mean you have to go to college. If you want to go to college, that's fine. If you don't, okay, but what are you doing with your life? So it's just like, let's talk about this. So they're able to set their goals, and I'm able to help them. With my professional life, my biggest accomplishment has been obtaining my doctorate. as well as being able to have my own business. And then I also work for a big public sector company. So, I've reached a mid-level, senior level role. So I'm happy about that, where I will get promoted next year as well. So I'm very thankful for the opportunities and my journey.
Wow. Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. How do you leverage all of this? You said you work for another company, you have your own business. How do you leverage all of that and even spending time with your family?
Right. So I have always put God first in my life. And I believe that is the key. And my motto for my life is faith over fear. So that's helped me overcome so many obstacles and challenges. My dad always told me to put my family first, and I've always done that. So that part of my life is just non-negotiable. So if there's ever, if I'm applying for a position, and there's ever a moment where like you have to work extensive hours, then that job is just not for me. So I believe that, within life, it's just putting God first and putting family first. And that fulfills like my purpose in life.
Yeah, that's really powerful. That is keeping that family first. I'm a very
Yes.
that's me too.
Yeah.
That comes first every day.
Absolutely.
So who or what inspires you?
So really it has been my family, and just being a teen mom with my daughters looking up to me, that has inspired me to go forth and accomplish my goals. And then even my husband, he's just been like, and I'm not over exaggerating, he's just like one of the best husband you can have, because he's just so supportive. And then he's always like, babe, I think you should pursue this and you would be good for this. So I'm just really thankful for him, and that God allowed him to be my husband. So it's my family. And then of course my sons, who always inspire me every day, because they're just like, hey mom, you're doing great, or I love you, or you're the best mom. So I'm very thankful for my family.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's I just think that's really great.
Yes.
Family,
Thank you.
especially those words of encouragement from your
Yes.
family. I know my son even shocked me the other day. I was going to work, I was going down the stairs. He goes, you look nice today. And I thought, what?
Right.
Those type of things mean a lot.
Absolutely.
So how do you define success?
So I just feel like success is defined differently to different people. But with me, my success is making sure that my family's okay, making sure that I'm happy in life so that they can be happy. So success for me is following God's guidance, and making sure that what I have learned throughout life, I'm able to teach that to someone else. So that's what success looks like to me, giving back.
Are there any particular experiences that you can think of that have taught you something that you've been able to share with someone, that you've been able to share to help them be successful in their own lives?
Yes. So I've been able to, of course, talk about me being a teen mom and being able to, accomplish my goals. But not only that, my grandfather, he was a janitor, and he always said, always treat everyone the same way, because of course he's had experiences where people weren't treating him the way they wanted to be treated with him being a janitor. But even though he only obtained an 8th grade education, he was the wisest man that I knew. So I'm able to talk about that with other people, just saying that, oh no, I didn't learn so much from people that have a doctorate or anything like that. I learned it from someone that had an 8th grade education. And treating people tells you about someone's character. And that's everything to me, is how my character is portrayed to someone else. So that has been a story I've been able to tell people.
Yeah, I think your life speaks a lot to just the challenges yet successes, right? That we all experience, and that no one, comes through this life without having some challenges. And those are the things that make us stronger, I think.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Those things that make us stronger.
Yes.
Um, you are a successful business owner, you're a successful wife and mom. Um, what steps do you take to reach your goals?
So I actually write down my goals, and of course I pray about it. So the one thing is I do not make plans for myself anymore. I allow God to make the plans for me. The reason why I say that is because if that were the case, I would not be married to my husband now, because I said I would never marry anyone from my hometown. I would never marry anyone that's older than me, and I would never marry anyone from the military. And my husband is all those things. So I am grateful for him. So when it comes to my career, I let God lead the way, and I pray about every decision that I make. And if something, if I apply for something, or, apply to be on a board or something, if it doesn't work out, it wasn't for me. So I don't take it any kind of way. I don't get mad about it or anything. I'm just like, it just wasn't for me. And I go on because I know God has something bigger and better for me.
Yeah, that's the attitude I've adopted too. If it's not for me,
Right.
it's okay, right?
Right.
It's something better,
Exactly.
or there was something protecting me from the
Absolutely.
experience. So yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly, because
Yeah.
I think sometimes two people can get caught up in, oh, that was just, maybe it's something I did. No, it's just okay if it wasn't for you. It's okay to move
Absolutely.
on. Yeah. Thinking about the Black Doctoral Network, how has your affiliation with the Black Doctoral Network helped you professionally and or personally?
Oh my gosh. I am just so thankful for this network. So we have the conference coming up, which I am thankful for, because I get to display my research, and it has everything to do with diversity, equity, and inclusion, of course. Um, so I'm thankful because it gives me an opportunity to share my information. And then they also provide information. They always have, of course, talks about how people, of course, like with this one, with how someone's journey, that can inspire someone else. So I've listened to a couple, and it's just like, wow, that's awesome that they were able to achieve their goals and overcome their obstacles and challenges. So I'm really grateful for the Black Doctoral Network. It's been a blessing to me, and I just want to get, of course, more involved. So of course, I'm going to do that, but I'm also thankful for this platform.
Can you give us a sneak peek into your research and what you'll be presenting?
Sure. So my research and my dissertation was on the underrepresentation of minority women in senior level positions employed by the federal government. It's like I stated before, you just see so many minority women just give their all when they're at work, but then they're not getting recognized for it. So that is what my research is about. And it's a case study. So I was able to interview minority women, and they were able to provide me excellent feedback. And I also interviewed some hiring managers. They were also able to give me beneficial feedback as to how things work. So I think it is beneficial for someone to read my dissertation to see what it's actually been like working for the federal government for these minority women.
Hmm. And I'm just going to ask one more question in regards to your research. Are you publishing it? Are you putting any journals or any articles out there that for those who would be interested in your work, they can maybe go find it?
Yes, ma'am. So it is actually out there. It's published. So you can find it on Google Scholars and look up my name, Amy Freeman. AMY Freeman, Freeman. Or you can go to my, so I have a website specifically for diversity, equity, and inclusion, and it's dramyfreeman.com. So it's DRAMYFREEMAN.com. And you can download my dissertation from there as well.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, because it sounds like an area that needs some more research, right? It needs
Yes, absolutely.
more work.
Absolutely.
So it's great that you have brought that to the forefront and kind of started to fill that gap in the literature, as we call it, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So my final question is, what is next for you?
So what's next for me is I actually want to, and I know I have a lot of things going on right now, but I actually want to become an adjunct professor. So I have applied for some positions, and then mainly at HBCUs. So, I mean, of course, it doesn't matter, but I really want to work for an HBCU so that I can give back to minorities. But I want to do that. I'm also getting involved with other organizations as far as diversity, equity, and inclusion and human resources. And then I've also been obtaining some other certifications because I just feel like even though I have my doctorate, no one should ever think just because they have their doctorate, they're too good to learn, because it's all about learning. So what I'm doing is I'm obtaining other certifications so that I can learn, and then that other people can teach me, or I can see it from someone else's experience of what they've been going through, so that I have a better understanding of either human resources or diversity, equity, and inclusion, or even process improvement, because I do have my Black belt in Lean Six Sigma as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, yeah, you're right about that. It's just because you have a doctorate does not mean you stop learning, right?
Absolutely.
That is just the start of the journey of
Absolutely.
even more learning and staying current in your field. So
Yes.
Dr. Freeman, thank you so much for joining me today for the Black Doctors Talk podcast. And I want to thank everyone who is watching for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Can you please tell our viewers and listeners where they can go to learn a little more about you and the work you're doing? And I know you've mentioned your website, but you can mention that again, and even any social media handles.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. West. And it was a pleasure being here today. So yes, they can definitely go to my business website for HR consulting or career coaching. It's thrivebeyond.com. It's actually spelled THRIIVEBEYOND.com. Or they can go to dramyfreeman.com for my dissertation, DRAMYFREEMAN.com. Or you can find me on LinkedIn, and that is Amy Freeman. So AMYFREEMAN -MHRM. And you can find me on LinkedIn there.
Awesome. Please be sure to stay connected to the Black Doctoral Network and connect with us on all of our social media channels. Thank you for joining us today for the Black Doctors Talk podcast. We hope you will join us again next time. But for now, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and please make sure that you tell a friend.